Negotiations went now that they're over. What was the holdup, and how happy are you to get Shea back in time for opening night?
Well, we're happy to have everybody done now, and sometimes it takes a little longer than we anticipated. Basically, the issues were they wanted to go shorter term, they wanted longer term, and you just have to get the numbers right on those deals. And then we got to a place today where they had a couple of options: a 6-year deal, a 7-year deal, and we thought we were pretty close. And then we got it done just after the first period, I think.
How important is the 7-year deal, especially with how old he is and how many years of unrestricted free agency you're buying off of that?
Well, it's about, for us, managing the cap properly, and you can look at the cap in certain ways, and we've got a lot of space this year, and probably next year, and so we'd like to use it to help us in the future, use more of it now. And it's sort of like perishable inventory. If you don't use it at the end of the year, it's of no value. So we thought if we pay a little more now, and had a contract that was pretty steady throughout its term, and we have cost certainty in the future, it allows us to manage the cap better and plan better as a result for what we'll do over the next couple of years and over the next several years. And he's a good young player, and we got some unrestricted years, and now he can just play. And it's never perfect. We didn't get everything we wanted. He didn't get everything he wanted, but it's a deal.
Shea?
The talk was that you guys were far apart as recently as a couple of days ago. So was that the case? Were you guys far apart and did kind of suddenly come together, or?
When you say the talk was, where do you get that from?
Just different reporters.
Well, how would they know? So, I don't know that we were ever really that far apart. It was more about, what's the right term, and they were more interested in going shorter, and we were more interested in going longer, and I think when it was laid out and explained to the player why we were doing that, I think it, again, helps us manage the cap better, and if we're doing that better, I think our chances of winning are better, so he bought in.
Alan?
George, how many years did Shea want? His folks want?
Initially, it was the agents wanted to focus on a 2-year deal, and if there's any doubt about what the player might be, then we'll know more after 2 years. And we're pretty confident, based on the way he played last year and what he did at his age last year, to really play that well in the playoffs for 4 rounds. We're pretty confident of what we're going to have now and in the future. So we were prepared to go longer.
Take a couple more, Jesse.
George, you've been pretty consistent saying you want to carry 8 defensemen. Does Nate's suspension and knowing that he's going to be coming back after 20 games change that philosophy at all, or do you still plan on 8?
Still plan on 8.
Are there any clauses in the Theodore contract over the 7 years?
There's no hocus pocus. It's just 5.2 a year for 7 years. It doesn't escalate. It's not front end or back end loaded. There's no dips in the lockout year. There's a 5-team no trade in years 6 and 7. We've been pretty consistent on we don't do no moves, and we have fairly limited no trades. And as long as you're consistent, then the players who are coming up next for deals will buy in to what's been done because they know they're not going to get special treatment, and people that sign after them aren't going to get special treatment. It's a pretty consistent thing that we've done with our group to make it fair. The salary will distinguish some players from others because their talent levels are different, but in terms of how the contracts are done, everybody pretty much gets the same.
Does this deal give you a difficult decision coming up with the defenseman, or were you kind of already operating on the assumption this was going to get done?
Difficult in what we're going to do with.
I guess were you already planning on having to make a decision on a defenseman, or were you operating on the assumption this was already going to get done and you already had a plan of who the 8 were?
Yeah, we had a plan for with Nate out and Theodore out, the two guys would have been Brandstrom and Bischoff. They've played very well, so they would have been here. Someone will have to go now, but we'll address that in a few days. And
Do the last two, Alan first, and then Shea.
George, can you put this in this particular negotiation in some kind of context in the kind of cases you've worked on through the years, where the agent asked for 2 and the player ended up with 7? How does this kind of fall into the kind of deals that you've negotiated through the years?
I don't think it's unusual. You start in a certain place, but if both sides are open-minded, you can get a deal done, and so I don't think it's that unusual, and you just never know. Maybe they wanted a long-term deal all along. That's the way it goes sometimes. But I don't know that this group we usually. With Newport, we usually you can get deals done with them, and I've done a lot of deals with them over the years, and I haven't had this in 10 or 12 years. I don't think I've had a player that didn't have a contract and missed a few weeks of camp. It's been a long time, but that's probably related to the CBA being what it is now. And there's just sort of this unique little area now for some of these young players that some of them are still out. Those are the ones that don't have contracts right now. So I don't think this was at all really unusual. And what's done is done.
Last one, Shea.
You talked about getting Shea to buy in. So what did you say to him? What did you guys tell him that may have got him to buy in?
It's not what I told him. I let his agents tell him what they want to tell him after our discussions. But it's buy-in based on. I think they, when you explain what we're trying to accomplish and why, and how we think it helps us build a better team. Because we're managing the cap better, and you don't have a bunch of players every summer that you have to deal with, because then you don't have cost certainty. And if you can lock some guys up, then you can project ahead and say, okay, we've got a couple guys to do next summer, and we have a pretty good idea where they're going to be. And it's much easier to manage than doing guys on short-term deals. And you've got that every summer, and you're not sure which way it's going to go. But what you do have to do is, if you're going to do a long-term deal, then you have to do it on short-term deals, but certainly more important on long-term deals, to get the right numbers. And you really have to trust your instincts, trust your experience, trust the scouting reports from your pro staff, trust the analytics data, and make a good decision. And we rely on all those resources to make a good decision, and I think we made one here, and time will tell.